strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome everyone, it is Bulldog here, and we have a new controversy to tackle today. There's been a recent video coming out saying that win trading is prevalent throughout Splinterlands. It is occurring constantly, and we need to talk about this because it is actually very misleading. And I want to kind of set the record straight and take a look at everything and show you what is happening and why there is a lot of confusion. So first off, let's start from the very beginning. What is win trading? To understand if it's a problem, you have to know what it is, right? So win trading is something that there have been accusations of occurring, and there's some evidence that it does occur on some accounts. We're not going to talk about who or go into whether those accusations are real or not. That's not the point of all this. But essentially win trading is when you have usually bot farms where a bunch of person runs the same bots, they play the battle at the same time to get matched up against each other, and then they trade wins. You can utilize, like, for example, the win streaks, put your accounts on win streaks, because you get double rating whenever you have a win streak of 3 or more, so that you can climb higher, or just feed rating to the highest rated account. And essentially a team of, I mean, you can have hundreds of bots working together to climb up their leaderboard, to either place on the leaderboard or to then build up a bunch of rating. And what we're seeing accusations of a lot, like in Silver League leaderboards and things like that, is that you build up these bots with a lot of rating, and then whatever your silver account is that's trying to compete on the leaderboard, or multiple accounts, you like get these accounts up to gold or diamonds, and then you drop the power on these bots and everything to bring them back down to silver, play at the same time as the silver leaderboard, and then you can funnel all that. You have these really high rated accounts, then funneling this rating into these leaderboard accounts, particularly towards the end of the season when all of that rating is worth a lot, and it can help climb the leaderboard. So does this occur or not? I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard. It's not a clear-cut picture, but we had a recent video by Gank where on his live stream he went into Peak Monsters, which we're going to do here in just a second, and looked at the Battle Chain Explorer and is seeing all of these surrenders and claiming that these are all win trading. And it's kind of misleading, and I don't want to bash on Gank here, because Gank's a very passionate player, and he actually reminds me of me in some of the previous games I played. Even the previous game I came from, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I was extremely critical about the game, not because I hated it, not because I was trying to spread all this uncertainty or the FUD and all that, but because I want to make the game better. And I don't think he's trying to mislead anybody here. I think he's trying to point out what he sees as an issue to the devs and to try and get it fixed. But he had me actually fooled a little bit. I think he may have fooled himself. And let's just go in. Let's go in and look at it. The easiest way to explain this is going to go in and look at what we're seeing here. But the point is that I don't think he's meaning anything nefarious by this, and I think he's a very passionate player, cares about the game, so I do not want to bash him at all. But I want to set the record straight on the video. So let's go in here to the battle chain on Peak Monsters. I'm going to refresh this. It's been a little bit since I pulled it up, so we're going to refresh it. We're going to look at the top here, and so you can see battles being played. And as we go through here, all of these first battles are actually surrenders. Like, not till we get down here do we see a battle actually being played. I mean, these are all in the last minute. So you can see here, they're submitting their team. They've got a team. All these others, they have not submitted a team. If we go look at the battle here, I mean, you've got a winner and a loser. We can click on the replay and come over here and see that it's a surrender. There's no replay because there's no battle actually being done. And so when you come through this Explorer and look at the latest battles being played, you scroll through this and it looks like all these battles are surrenders. Why would there be so many surrenders unless they are bot farms that are win trading? Because again, you're seeing 75% of the battles here are surrenders. And that's why he claims that this win trading is prevalent not just on the leaderboards, but throughout the game. And I saw this and I was like, wow, I didn't realize that percentage of the battles were surrenders. Like, that's insane. And it seems, so I started looking into these more. Okay, well, what are these exact counts doing? We'll refresh it again. So I'm going to pull up a random account here. So look at this almond account. This is one that's just surrendered. So let's go. We're going to click on it here, and we go to his battle chain, and we see, well, wow, all he does is surrender. What is the purpose of this account? All he is doing is surrendering. He's got to just be intentionally feeding rating. But what we're seeing here is an issue with peak monsters. I don't know how this data is being pulled, but they are not showing all of the data. Let's go into his actual account here. Let's go to Splinterlands. Let's go to this player. And okay, here's his actual account. So here's this last battle that was done. That was the surrender, right? He lost that battle. Well, let's go look through his last 20 battles. That is the only surrender. Only one surrender. If we go back to his peak monsters page, it shows almost everything's a surrender. He's only played 3 real battles in the last 24 days. It is only showing the surrenders. And we can do that with any of these accounts. I'll refresh it, pull up a new one. So let's go. I'm trying to choose the higher rating, so we're not looking at new players or something. Let's look at this guy right here. We'll click on his battles. It's showing that, again, all of these look like looks like all of his battles are surrenders. Let's go back over to the Splinterlands account, see which ones are actually of the battles are actually showing up. If we look at his full history, maybe gotta hit the enter button. There it is. Okay, so again, the top one, that was the one that just happened. That's the reason it popped up on our Explorer, was a surrender. But then we come down here, one other surrender. So there's 2 surrenders in the last 20 battles. They are not showing up on his Peak Monsters account. So this Peak Monsters Explorer is for some reason pulling all of the surrenders and not many of the other battles. And that's why it looks like everything is a surrender. And surrenders are, why does the surrender happen in the first place? Well, does that mean that he's still win trading? He's just only doing it once a day or occasionally? Not really. I have surrenders myself. I'm not a bot. I have surrenders because I forget to play in a tournament. I have surrenders because I start a battle and then go over and I'm replying to somebody on Discord or whatever the case is, and I eventually come back and, oh, I forgot I had that battle. I just surrendered. I tried running a couple bots actually I was doing a scholarship test, right? You guys may have seen the posts, human versus bot. You may have seen me talk about it in my live stream. I was trying to compare which is the better scholar. Can a human outperform a bot? Is it cheaper to build a bot or use a free bot or pay for a bot? And that we'll have more on that video. There's supposed to be a video on that last week. I'll have that soon, I promise. We'll have more details on that. But the point was, I ran a couple of bots and they would have surrenders. They weren't a part of any nefarious bot farm. They were just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played, at least as far as bots go. Some of you will say bots aren't the way the game is supposed to be played. That's a whole separate argument. That's not what we're talking about here. Bots are allowed. They are allowed to play. And the point is, it was trying to win all its battles, but it would still have some surrenders. And I think it's because, like, maybe there's some situations where it just can't find a team that it likes. Like I believe, like the one I use, it only plays a team if it feels it has a greater, like there's a minimum where it has to have at least a greater than 35% win chance to field the team. And then it's like, okay, maybe this battle, it couldn't find anything that it felt had any chance to win, or everything that was being generated, we didn't have the cards for it, so it ended up surrendering. I don't know the exact details around that, but whatever the case, bots just sometimes just don't fire correctly, and they don't submit a team, and that there's nothing nefarious about it. It's just a part of it. So looking at individual surrenders, I don't see any reason to say, okay, just because this surrender happened, that it's win trading. It's something that actually happened. Let's go to my own here. Let's go to my own account. Let's go. I just clicked on a random name there. Let's come up here. Let's type in my own account. Let's see what my own account looks like. How does it show up? So you can see, like, look at this. I look like I'm a win trading bot farm. Like, all of these surrenders. Look, I told you guys I have some surrenders sometimes. This 3 days ago. What happened 3 days ago? Why did I have all these surrenders? This is a tournament I forgot to play in. So I had like 12 surrenders. I occasionally do that. Forgot to play battles. See that it pops some random battles in there. And then you see, like I said, sometimes I just forget. I had a few, 2 surrenders 6 days ago, where I just forgot. 8 days ago, I had 2 surrenders where, again, I was got distracted playing. I'm sure that's what happened. Here, 13 day. I thought we had a run of this. Yeah, see, I just forget to play sometimes. 16 days ago, here's the other tournament. I knew I forgot another tournament back then. 16 days ago, I believe that's a tournament that I forgot. So, I mean, but when you look at this Explorer, I've played, over the last 16 days, I've played hundreds of battles. Very few of them are actually showing up in this battle chain. So this is not a problem with, it's not a problem with win trading. It's a problem with peak monsters somehow, and I don't know exactly how it is, but somehow it's a problem with win trading, or sorry, with peak monsters. So now that doesn't mean win trading is not a problem. That doesn't mean it's not something that's supposed to be discussed. Splinterlands actually recently tried to put out an update to fix some of this win trading, and that was the update a few days ago that didn't take, but they were going to hide the names of your opponents. You can't win trade if you don't know who your opponent is, right? You're not going to just lose to random opponents. So that was what that was trying to address. So I don't think, I'm not trying to say that win trading is not a problem, that we just don't need either that update to come or maybe an update like that. Is that update going to be enough? I had a whole video planned to release with that update. It's already done, so I will see if I have to redo that or when the update comes out. So we'll talk about that when the update is here, whether I think that specific update will help things or not, or what might happen there. But the point that I'm making is it's not as prevalent as the video that's circulating makes it seem. It's somehow there's some issue with how Peak Monsters is pulling the battle chain data, that it's specifically capturing surrenders and not all of it. It's capturing occasionally some of the other battles, but it's not capturing most of them for whatever reason. So again, I know there are a bunch of players on the leaderboard that feel like the people that are beating them are using win trading or other nefarious acts, and I don't necessarily, I'm not trying to dismiss any of those concerns about win trading, but I don't think it's all that prevalent. I mean, there is some strong evidence that it's happened on occasion, and there's been somebody that's admitted to it on an occasion. So yes, it does happen, but I feel like it's a very, very small percentage of the battles. And I feel like the ranked reward changes that are coming, as well as the decrease in DEC price, is actually going to help fix some of this, because I think a lot of the win trading is for leaderboards, and that's where a lot of the complaint goes, win trading for leaderboards. Well, as DEC falls back to peg, back to $1 per 1,000 DEC, the leaderboard rewards are in DEC, so the value of the leaderboard rewards are going to go down. We're going to have an update here in the next month or so that's going to redo some of the rewards, ultimately increase the rewards. We're eventually going to have SPS added to just the regular battle rewards. And so as we decrease the value of the leaderboard prizes and increase the value of just playing your regular battles, it might be something that kind of fixes itself, because there's just not that incentive to go win trade and do all of this. So I mean, I don't know. Again, that's kind of a separate discussion as far as will it fix itself, how to fix it, all of that. It's not a straightforward solution, but again, the reason I made this video is I wanted to showcase that it's not, what Peak Monsters is showing is not reflective of the win trading problem. It's not a really a prevalent thing. At least not to the extreme that we're seeing on there, and I hope that's made clear by this. So again, and once again, I want to also make it clear that I don't believe Gank meant anything nefarious by putting this out here. He's again just a very passionate player with the game and cares about it, and I think he wants to see this resolved and was just trying to bring this to light. And when I saw it at first, I was also very concerned, because it does look like, as you're going through that, wow, 80% of our battles are surrenders, but when you dig into it deeper, as I was trying to find out, look into specific accounts and see who they were trying to funnel to or whatever the case is, you could easily see that no, it doesn't really look like that's happening, at least with surrender. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I don't know. I'm curious to see the thoughts. Curious to see the comments on this overall, and how many people think that despite this, that win trading is still a major problem that needs to be addressed immediately. And how many people would rather wait for the rewards to come out, see how that affects things, would rather them focus on getting modern wild out, focus on land and everything. Because if this is an issue that needs to be fixed, it's not necessarily going to be an easy one, because all of the immediate fixes the bots could probably build around, and then you get into this battle. And we've talked, I said I wasn't going to get into this, now I'm getting into it anyways. We've talked about in the past that a lot of people don't want bots at all, and don't want multi accounts. If you decide that you want to go that way, that takes a lot of resources to try and police and try and stop, because right now bots aren't hiding anything, but as you try to stop them, they'll get more clever, then they'll start to hide it, and then this becomes this war. You put something out, the bots build their way around it, and you start investing a lot of resources in trying to stop this. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, catch me on my live streams the next 2 weeks. We've got every stream sponsored the next 2 weeks. Hopefully it's going to be every live stream sponsored moving forward. Hopefully we're getting to that point, but the next 2 weeks we've got all sponsored live streams. Sponsored live streams means giveaways. A large percentage of that sponsorship goes into giveaways during the stream, so make sure you guys check it out. We're gonna have a ton of giveaways. I'll see you there. Thanks a lot.